Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome back to Rage Across New York, Season 2. In this particular scene, Havika has invited Moses and Missy to an area within New York. It's distant within, it's still within the city limits, but away from the clutter and such of the typical city. It's almost, in some ways, you can almost describe it as an island, but it's more like a strip of land that leads into the nearby rivers, then further into a lake. It is known by those who are aware of the place as the Mere, an area controlled mainly by the few Atina that reside within New York. He sits there on a small blanket with his pack mate Icarus and begins spreading out a selection of food, ranging from different meats and fruits, waiting for their guests to arrive.
Icarus is, of course, helping out Havika with the food. You could tell he's really excited. He keeps picking up things and like inspecting it and putting it back down. He's got nervous energy, but overall, he's really content to be doing this. It kind of distracts him.
As Havika is also obviously helping with the preparations, he'll look over to Icarus and simply say, "I hope this goes well. This I honestly didn't expect well the to be interested in us. I guess to be honest."
I hope so. I hope so. Missy's really nice, and she's really good at fighting. And I've seen Moses around. We talked when I first got here, and you can always be sure with Moses that you're in for quite an adventure. And we're an adventure, so it's like we're about to start like a really cool like party together.
So he nods to that, and as he finishes up his signs of the preparation, and you can easily see Havika does seem a bit nervous.
At this point of time, Moses will arrive with like this huge picnic basket and slung over his shoulder, and he's walking with a huge smile on his face. Um, he will be walking, and he will, he'll arrive there and he'll wave to y'all, and basically he will set the picnic basket down and start pulling out, basically cut up sandwiches of his famous Big Mo sandwiches and start
Uh-huh.
putting them down there wrapped up nice. And he will basically take out a bottle, I mean, two bottles of cheap wine, basically something that he will be able to buy by scraping up money, helping out camp folks and whatnot. And he'll basically put it on the table and put plastic like wine cups too.
All right. Is this a place far enough away that we would drive from the hotel that's near the set? How many miles is it from the set?
Oh, it's relatively I would say it's relatively out there, so you would have to either drive or lupus walk for not necessarily a large amount of time, but it's like an hour, maybe an hour and a half drive.
Okay. Well, then I would have, I imagine I would have driven myself and Moses out there. So if that's being the case, then I will come along in Moses's company, and she'll have her backpack and stuff like that. Because she pretty much never takes it off. Her boots are still shined up from the and she's fairly clean trousers, color work trousers, and at this point, probably a button up, flannel shirt. Uh, is Are there any humans around here, or is it just out in the country?
Um, the area nearby does have a little tourist thing, but in the
Hmm.
part of the mirror that we are at, it is relatively outside the sight of typical people. This would be kind of like going to like like those cave tourist attractions, and going past the path or going around it.
All right.
So
Well,
the likelihood of any humans that come by is very low.
then she's probably gonna have her hat off so she can stretch out her feathers. Uh, can you hear me?
Hmm.
Okay, yeah. The signal was interrupted for a second. Then yeah, she's just gonna go ahead and just flex up her mane and be pretty happy to be here. Um, hello, very nice to see you. She actually has kind of a little kind of half grin on her face, and her eyes are darting about, almost like she's excited to be here. Um, and she waves to Icarus. Uh, hey there.
Oh God, he's gonna be like all grins when he sees Moses and Missy, and he's gonna give that Forrest Gump wave where he's like overly enthusiastically waving. He's like,
All right, yeah, good deal.
I'm glad you two could make it. Do please sit down.
Why, thank you. And Moses going to basically take a seat and basically just gonna, kind of put his hands together, and just intently get ready to listen.
All right. She'll have a seat as well, although it's more for her. It's more like squatting on a chair because she's so small. Or I guess no, she'd shift up to Glabro to be able to sit at a regular table with people. So, mm,
"How was the drive?"
oh, it's pleasant. It's a nice day out. Got to put the windows down. You know, I felt it was pretty good. Moses has been regaling me with a few stories of times in the past there.
Mm. Uh, So Havaka will look over to Moses and kind of nod his head and look over to Missy and say, um, or look over to both Missy and Moses, like, oh, do please eat. And we do also have drinks over there if you like some as well.
Yes, why, thank you. And he basically put a napkin on his lap. Basically, will take the sandwich and he will basically start eating. Pour himself some of that cheap wine, and basically enjoying the scenery around him. Mm, nice day we are having, and a good day to talk about the formation of joining your pack.
Havaka nods and says, uh, it's like, I guess that is the focus of this meeting, but I wanted oh, if you're ready to talk about it, we can talk about it. But I wanted to keep it a little bit casual for the moment, just get used to each other's presence.
Of course.
She'll take her wine glass, which has the wine in it, I suppose, and well, pour herself a big bunch. She'll actually be she'll follow her etiquette and not just grab the bottle. Um, and she will take one of Moses's sandwiches, and she begins eating like a woman possessed. Because she's a little skinny, doesn't get to eat quite so often. So this little bone gnawer is going to be like,
So Havaka will have a small smile on his face, saying that uh, she's eating and she seems to be enjoying herself. Havaka will get one of the wine glasses, pour a little bit of wine, then grab a bottle from the cooler. It seems to be a Welsh's passion fruit mix, and mix it with the wine. Then begins to drink it.
It's been some interesting times on the Sept.
Yeah, there was some event a few days ago. I wasn't able to go. Hoping everything went all right with that.
I was able to attend. It went well. The spirits did come, and they spoke to a couple of things which met me near and dear, because it's part of what I'd wanted to speak with Moses about before he said that he was heading out to see you guys about forming up a pack. Um, some of the things that they said. One of them, and she knows the proper name. I just myself don't remember. So she'll mention this person was a kinfolk who
Oh,
said, "I'm sorry."
I said, oh,
Yes, it was a kinfolk ancestor spirit. She came and you know, uh, she and her man came and mentioned. She said that 'cause we explained Vasily's situation. You know how he's got kinfolk working for him, and she made it very clear that she that we should be thing organizing our kinfolk. Getting them more networked to look out for each other, which I would certainly be in favor of. And possibly also giving them some training in I guess weapons and pack tactics, which I don't know how I would teach that to a two legs, but I was coming to speak with Moses to ask if maybe I could have some help with that. I spend the past month, I run around, I check in on the kinfolk here and there, to see if they need help with this or that. It's kind of, I guess I kind of made myself a shepherd. um, and that's what I've been doing. I was wanting to speak with Moses, honestly, about forming up a pack, or at least a temporary alliance to try and get some more paws on the ground to do this sort of thing. Because, well, you didn't want to talk all about packs straight away, so we can get to that later.
Havika nods, hearing Missy's words. Organizing the kinfolk would be wise, and teaching them how to defend themselves is even wiser. I just, to the best that, at least in my opinion, the abilities that we should do, we should allow them to live as normal lives that they possibly can. They aren't the ones with the burden. We are.
uh, well, I understand that, but um, if you have been among the kinfolk, the Nar kinfolk, just in terms of just being an R kinfolk, that's a hard life, and community can make that a lot better for folks. Not to mention Leatherface is running around town, so nobody feels safe. I don't know if Moses here. He was there when Joan came with that note that they had left for me, and she's like, well, we got her drunk, but she's like saying it again and again. At least I have my eyes. It's not. There's no normal life right now for these kin, and they can't have one unless we do something about it. We may have the burden, but uh, but I don't see them as a burden. Uh, and that's just how I feel. I was hoping I might be able to get some help with this, uh, cause it's lonely. you know, I
it's
hate to put it in such a form, but that's kind of how it is.
no, it's lonely. I mean, it is. It's lonely knowing that there's a whole other world that you're both a part of and not a part of. You have 2 feet in both worlds. You know about all these things that go bump in the night, but you're also trying to play the ignorant game of I don't know what you're talking about. Being able to prepare yourself for when things come bumping in the night in your direction. You're not trying or hoping and praying that you can get to safety before it catches up to you.
Yeah.
I I think preparing the kinfolk, and making sure that they have the means necessary to protect themselves until we arrive is. always important, or just protecting themselves.
Yeah, there's a thing I heard about back where I'm from, down south. You know, there's lots of room between the towns and the houses because everybody's got farms and also
Hmm.
up in the mountains. People live on the side of a cliff, so there's an old it was a talon that some of the kinfolk would build. That it was like a whistle or it was some sort of thing, and it would alert guru, like the nearest guru, or maybe one that it had been attuned to, that there was danger that they needed to meet. It's kind of like a 911 in a Talon. And I don't know if y'all seen me running around the set being all silly, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to soak some materials with or get them used to having gnosis sweat into them for the purposes of making those sorts of things. And I know the rights
Oh,
to make talons. I mean, I can bind. That's not a problem. I don't know necessarily how to make these exact things, but there might be somebody on set or somebody I can speak to. I don't know. If, can we do moon bridges from that set? I know it's a big
Possible.
deal, but I mean, if I could get back down there, I'm sure I could find out. But well, that's definitely one for fire in the hole. There, I don't need to be causing that kind of trouble. that's a pack request, not a random Ragabash request.
Malika's face will look very much impressed with your statements, and he will say, "I'm on agreement on that. That is a pack request more than anything.
Mm,
But and I'm not against the idea of making sure that the kinfolk have a way to contact us no matter where we are, or at least any that are nearby."
yeah.
So, and I've been telling my kinfolk, to be honest, to get them ready. I and he hesitates for a moment, and then he continues. I have confidence in my cousin, but my mate is, well, a different story. She's a doctor. He's not a fighter.
Mm, yeah. And we're the fighters. That's us. And they do a lot. But you know, I'm sorry to be dominating the conversation, but the thing is, you know, Guru aren't going to win this war. The kinfolk, the background, they're the backbone of the Guru nation. And maybe some folks don't want to admit it, but without them, we're nothing. I think a lot of folks don't think about that. They don't see it. They just don't see it. And I guess don't let that leave this table. but but some of them are real sweet. I mean, just being kicked up and down the road just like I have, and uh, so there's something important to me, and I just been worrying. I'm sure we can talk about something else, but they're my main concern. And well, there is another one, but well, what about you guys? Y'all talk. I just been blabbing over here.
No, you brought up good points. In Hell's Kitchen, at least on my end, I've been doing my best to patrol the neighborhoods, keep the spirits happy around the apartments I'm nearby. Hopefully, that means no Banes come out of nowhere and possess a child. And maybe if a
Mm,
spirit is happy enough, it might bless somebody's home.
yeah, yeah.
Then,
Icarus.
oh, no, I think that's a really great idea of keeping an eye on the kinfolk. And yeah, I've been hanging out in Hell's Kitchen. Just but more so patrolling, the overlooked people. He kind of gives his hand like he's like waving over like a group. He's like, yeah, just more so like keeping in contact with the overlooked people. It's good. It's good to talk to people, especially people who get overlooked and such. So, and it's a good idea.
She reaches out and gives you, fist knuckles for looking after the kin. Because you're Bonar too,
Oh
ain't
yeah,
you?
I'm aspiring to be one. I'm not. I'm still. I know. Everyone has aspirations to be really great things, and yeah, I'm aspiring to be the best bonar carrier that I know how to be.
Well,
So
I'm amazed we hadn't been running into each other out there because I look after the same folks.
I
It's a big town. It's a
don't
big
know. I
town.
might. Yeah. If I'm not there, I'm usually helping out. I do. I do. I help with some legal work. With
Oh,
my one of my mom's best friends. We as far as she knows, it's a he puts quotes. It's an organization for the downtrodden. I can't remember what I called it. I think I called it like the Good Fellows or like the Good Guys,
mm-hmm.
and now I have to make it up. And it's so she's been helping me with like legal problems again for those of us who can't afford proper legal service but don't want to go with like a public defender to keep you know keep Guru and humans more so, those who can't defend themselves in day to day manner, at least some means to protect themselves should the worm or just bad people come knocking.
Well, same difference.
Hmm.
What do you think, Moses?
Hmm. Overall, hmm, with the protection of the kin, what we doing? Uh, hmm, I like to be optimistic. I like to be positive, but I will say, sadly, to say that you know, with all of us doing this work, which is good and all, as long as Vasily is running around with his militia, with his Gestapo, we will just be playing this game of this this defensive game. We'll just be on the defense every time, which I'm glad that we had that meeting about what we should do and what we should do next. But my honest opinion, I just feel like we are still just playing this. We're just still on the defensive, and it gets to it gets to the point where defense won't win the game. Protecting the kin folks is nice, is good, is noble, but I don't want to have the can looking over their shoulders, even though they already do. But I don't want them to keep double taking, looking over their shoulders. Because I mean, I guess the last straw was when you know, oh, Miss Jones came and kept repeating that same phrase over and over again. That was the last straw. Right now. I'm ready to take to the offense. This is not me being an RO. This is just me being a caregiver and a protective person. I cannot simply just allow this man to bully and do what he wants. I know he has a story to tell. I know he may have went through something traumatic, but this is not the way to go about things. And this has to stop.
Uh,
Um, Catherine, I was wondering, could you turn down your mic a little bit because you're super loud. Uh, I'm having trouble hearing other folks without, turning up and down, turning up and down. Uh, did we lose?
nah, she'll be right back.
All right.
So,
Well,
Was somebody about to say something?
there we go.
very good. Well, were you about to speak, Havica?
Yes, he's Hanukkah will state. If you're concerned about that, I've actually gotten some information about the VIPs. Me and Icarus were soon about to start our investigation on them. And since you're all here, there's no reason to hide it. We have names, and I have potential history. Still vague, but it's something.
Ah. Do you have addresses?
Previous social media posts. But hopefully, with that, hopefully, if we can maybe talk around on the streets, maybe I can get my friend to do some more research. We can get addresses, maybe locations, telephone numbers, emails.
Just before anybody continues, I'll say that when Mo starts speaking about, going on the offense and dealing with these kinfolk, in an offensive manner, she starts getting a bigger and bigger. She kind of frowns when he mentions Vasily and his, like problems, but she's still got this smile on her face because she says, "These are the words I want to hear more than anything." Well, I mean, I definitely need help looking after folks, but neglecting this, that was another thing which she said, referring to the ancestor spirit. She said that we should be targeting his support, and that's who these kinfolk is. Because if he ain't got a pack, then he's already going crazy. Because I've been going half nuts. I didn't realize how important it was. Uh, but these kin are his support structure, and if we target two legs, then they're not going to be able to hold him up. And then he's going to have to put resources in to keep them safe. And they're going to feel more and more. It's going to cause chaos and possible dissension. There might be some fights. And any part of that is what we want. And so yeah, I'm very in favor of it. Very, very. Maybe a little bit meaner than all y'all are too. I don't know. But
Hmm.
oh, yours fell again. Lol.
Well, if that's the case, he looks over to Missy and looks at the Moses. We got tools to start the offensive, but we don't have the same manpower as some of the other packs. I'm very sure, at least for me, and I'm pretty sure Vic as well, we would appreciate a more hands and a more unified effort.
Well, I can agree. But right now, if we're the only hands, then these hands need to get to work. We should find out more about these people. I can look about on the street when I'm seeing this and that person and try to find out what I can. Uh, it's a big town. I don't know how many people might know these folks, but I can do some digging. I know how to rifle through trash. If we can find where these people used to live, even there, I might be able to get a scent off something. And I mean, there are things that can be done, but I'm with Big Mo. I'm with you. We should start digging into these people. Welcome back.
So, then, how about this? Said, I feel that we're in agreement of not only of going on the offensive on Vasily, we're also in agreement that the kinfolk need protected, and they need tools to better protect themselves. And there has been a lack of effort of recent, which valid why it has been, but no excuse that there shouldn't. No excuse that we haven't should not have not already tried. Yeah. So I would love to have you two as part of our pack. So not only can we defeat this effort as a team, we can defeat this as a as a as a good unit, even a family maybe later on.
Mm, thank you so much. Is it? Are we the four? Do we have another?
We are the four.
Four's plenty.
I will state though, I guess, before we make anything official or anything like that, we and Icarus, we're not like Milo. We're not a pack of war. Not in the
Mm-hmm.
sense that we go kicking down the doors and devastating whoever gets in our path. We can fight, but that's not something we want to do. At least not head on. We prefer coming things from the sides or from an angle that we can better use our skills and gifts at. And I would like to know, as he looks over the Moses, I know you. You can fight. You can fight with the best of them, but I also know you have a big heart, and you're willing to stay your hand to speak words and avoid fighting, which I much respect and appreciate. And Missy, you seem very knowledgeable not only of the natural world, but the streets that the people live on, which I have much respect for.
Mm. Tips her head. I'm getting better at it. This scab we live in ain't. It's not to my liking, but I'm starting to find something about it. It's like a canyon. It's like it's cliffs too, in a sense. Those towers, and there's a little green everywhere in between. There could be an awful lot more of it, that's for sure. But there's life in them. It's weird life. The two legs are, I don't know, they're kind of growing on me. Oh, Tracker would be so Tracker would be so disappointed. But that's all right.
He nods his head.
What about you, Moses? What sort of ideas do you have in terms of how we can proceed?
Say it again.
What ideas do you have in terms of how we can proceed? Uh, you are the greatest in rank, I believe.
First,
OOC. He's yeah. He's above rank one. Isn't he?
yes, he's Foster.
Ah, very good.
Um, First, before we proceed, will have to we'll have to get this pack going. We'll have to we'll have to see each other through. You know, we'll have to get each other going, and we'll have to work together to pursue a totem. And first, we just have to get this pack off the ground first. It's,
I
just get us official.
Yeah. Havika nods, though he'll retort, though despite the two of us, we have done some things. We've had a relatively strong control over the Hell's Kitchen area, and we've gotten a few things done within the city. We just never decided on a name or nor totem.
So I ask you this: we together, basically, uh, the slaughterhouse. Do you want to claim that as our territory too?
hmm.
So if the spirits allow us, and we don't have any conflict, there's no reason not to. eventually we want the city, and at least in our favor, not anybody else's.
Indeed. So I've been thinking about a particular totem in my.
Me and Icarus have been thinking of Tetzalapoka.
Tetzlapoka, the trickster.
You know him.
Aye, yeah. Coyote by any other name? Yes. Tell me more. Well, what do you think, Moses, as greatest in station? Who did you have in mind?
Uh, hmm. Let uh hmm. Well, let's get one thing. Let's get one thing straight. I may be great in station, and with that comes respect. With that comes, uh, great many deal things. But right now, I'm not the one who made the pack. Who's I'm not the alpha of this pack. I'm just another guru joining the pack. I may be of high rank, but I leave that the decision to the one who has put forth the effort to make this pack. So whatever totem is chosen, if you know, it is the decision of the alpha, and I will be happy to serve under said totem. It is something we child of Gaia have praised. It is something we child of Gaia have praised ourselves to be able to adapt to our situations.
Oh, she gets a big old smile on that one. Big old smile on that one. Glances over at Habakkuk.
I respect your decision, and I appreciate your confidence in me, Moses.
Hmm. I mean, this is not trying to throw shade on people, and forgive me for this is not to speak ill will of no one, but when I came back, the ones who've been pulling their weight has been the Cleavs around. It will be wrong of me to basically come out of nowhere and you know start you know being start throwing my rank around. Y'all been putting in work. Y'all been doing what y'all been taking on the Sealy and just been doing work. So I mean, I'm here for support.
He, he nods at that, though. He'll state, I'm very sure the ones of higher station are busy with more direct things, and that's
Of
why you
course.
have. But like I said, I appreciate it. And then for the totem, Tetzlapoka is intrigues us because he allows us to be. He'll test us to make sure that we stay focused on making sure that we're within Gaia's purview, that we're not going on the wrong path. He'll also allow us to understand the vices not only of the city, but the people that reside in it. And one thing I can say, I think we could say for all of us, we do care about at least the people within the city. Maybe not intimately, but knowing something is better than knowing nothing.
Aye. OOC, what book is Tetzlapoka in? So I can look this one up.
I believe he's in, oddly enough, Night in Mexico, but we actually have a little printout I can get you right now.
That'd be great.
Let's see if I can.
You mean Rage Across Mexico? I didn't know they made one of those.
No, I believe it's actually oddly enough is from Night of Mexico,
You,
and they
wait,
have some.
you mean a vampire supplement?
Yeah, I said oddly enough they do have werewolf details in it.
That's neat. That's real neat. I didn't know they had those in that stuff. Sounds good.
Let's see. I don't know if I could do it this way. Oop. Then let me just do it.
I'm back. Fell off alone for a moment.
Alrighty.
Good deal, Chris.
It is in the Garu chat because I'm having a hard time finding it. Sorry.
Okay. I checking that may knock me offline again, but I'll see if I can find it. Uh
Alright. If not, let's see. There we go. But there we go. Yeah, got the image address right here.
sure.
But blah, blah. We have faith that he will treat us well and make sure that we are making wise decisions. Oh, and I can hope that everyone everyone here can prove not only prove to Tetzlapoka, but prove to themselves that nothing said no vice, no said no temptation can lead us off the path of Gaia. But this is merely the first day of our meeting. We can discuss other totems as the days go by. Right now, we should focus on Vasily.
Indeed. I think we should. Am I coming through the computer again?
No, we hear you fine.
Okay, very good. Yeah,
Now,
opening anything on my phone will knock me out of StreamYard. So
I also have something else I need to bring up too. Since we will be forming up, since we are going to be functioning as a pack, I need to tell you all that I will be going on to my Adrian challenge soon. Now, this will, I won't be challenging here, but I will be challenging down at my set, my former set of the set of Forgotten Waters in New Orleans. I will be hoping that you will accept the humble, you know, the humble invitation to join me on my Adrian challenge.
I hope we see no reason not to. We're a pack. So
Yes,
we should always be available to help each other.
I will very much like to do that, and I can drive. I can get us all there in my van. No problem. Or we can run in the Umbra. That would be fun.
Uh, but this one thing, Tabitha, on this particular challenge, depending since we'll be together, I will have to be the one to be leading for this only particular instance, and I just want your permission to be able to do so.
No, that shouldn't be a problem. I guess also with me in accordance, I'll be doing my fostering challenge soon. I'd also appreciate any help.
And we'll be willing to, and I'll be willing to assist you in that, however help I may be.
I will be there for my pack. I'm nowhere near challenging for anything, but the city's challenging enough, so I'm quite happy.
Then, if we're in for agreement at this point, we are a pack. A pack of no name, but soon a totem to be.
Where's my glass?
So, but for now, let us eat and enjoy ourselves in celebration of what we are becoming. Yeah, I'm having a hard time talking.
Indeed.
Indeed. And she kind of puffs up a little bit. She seems a little bit very satisfied and happy. Goes ahead and extends out her mane, just all the way out. Ah, stretches. Mm. All right. Well, good deal.
Indeed, as he'll point up a glass and toast.
And Moses will join and say toast as well.
Well, then, folks, let's get something done. And go ahead and start sipping my glass.
Yeah. So Havika has a has a very content look on his face and takes a sip from his glass as well.
And Moses will be very. He'll smile. He'll have that same cheesy grin as basically he'll sip as well.
I'm sure Icarus would as well. Good
Then
deal.
then if unless any other players have anything they would like to do,
Nope, I'm good.
thank you
Good
players
as
for
well.
playing. Thank you watchers for watching. Have a good morning, evening, or night.